This copyrighted telecast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Nevada. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the express written consent of the University of Nevada and Learfield.
Hello and happy holidays. Welcome inside our Champion Chevrolet studios for a new episode of Wolfpack All Access. I'm your host this week, Shannon Kelly. The Wolfpack men's and women's basketball teams wrapped up non-conference play this weekend, with the men hosting Duquesne out of the Atlantic 10 Conference and the ladies hosting West Coast Conference foe Pacific. After a big win at Washington State last weekend for the men's hoops team, the Silver and Blue would look to end non-conference play on a 4-game winning streak. Here's Alex Margulies with the highlights delivered by BTX Global Logistics.
All right, thanks, Shannon. Here at Legacy Hall, Nevada men's basketball able to squeak out a 78-75 win over Duquesne to finish out the non-conference slate 8-3. Let's show you how it happened. Nevada down a couple of their big starters once again. Corey Camper Jr., Joel Armo trading out with injury. The Wolfpack would get off to a slow start, but thanks to their bench, would get on a roll. Freshman Peyton White, part of his 8-point first half. Nevada now leads at 20-16. A couple minutes later, Amir Robinson in transition buries the three. Nevada leads by 7 and what would be a 15-0 run. Nevada takes a 42-35 lead at halftime. But the Dukes would make things interesting with hot three-point shooting, battling all the way back to tie the game with 2 minutes to go, and then quickly took the lead as they got a big steal and score. Dukes on top by a pair. On the other side, Elijah Price at the free throw line. After making his first, he misses the second, and Peyton White with the big tip. The offensive rebound secures possession for Nevada, and they would take advantage. Tayshawn Comer gets the bucket. Nevada's back to a 1-point lead. Let's go to the final seconds now. Nevada's up by 3. The Dukes with a chance to tie it, but the shot is off the mark. Nevada can breathe a sigh of relief as they secure the 78-75 win. Nevada women's basketball also in action on Saturday, and they would have a wild finish as well, but not what you'd expect. Nevada and Pacific would go into overtime, but unfortunately had to call the game a no contest as a light failure happened inside Lawler Event Center. So no winner, no loser in that game. Nevada ladies now looking forward to the Mountain West Conference opener Wednesday night. They'll play at home against Colorado State. Nevada men, of course, next Saturday against Boise State. We'll talk all about this game and more with head coach Steve Alford a little bit later on here in Wolfpack All Access. For now, let's send it back to Shannon Kelly in our Champion Chevrolet studio.
It's been a busy month in the Nevada Athletic Department, with head baseball coach Jake McKinley stepping down earlier this month to take a job with the Seattle Mariners, and head women's soccer coach Vanessa Valentine stepping down from her post a few days later. Those weren't the only programs to see changes at the top. On Thursday, it was announced Shannon Wyckoff McNeil was stepping down as the head coach of the women's volleyball program. After 2 seasons at the helm, Wyckoff McNeil compiled a 20-37 overall record. She spent more than a decade as an assistant at Washington State before taking over the reins at Nevada nearly 2 years ago. In a statement, Wyckoff McNeil said, quote, "After a lot of reflection and prayer, I have chosen to step away in order to put my family first. It's truly heart-wrenching to leave a place and a group of people I care for so deeply." Later adding, "This is a great university with a tremendous community, and being part of this program has been both inspiring and rewarding," end quotes. Athletic director Stephanie Remp says a national search for Pac Volleyball's new leader is underway. Coming up later on Wolfpack All Access, our one-on-one sit-down with Nevada Baseball's new skipper, Jordan Getzelman. And we introduce you to one of the stars on the track and field team who hails from New Zealand. But coming up next is our first one-on-one chat of the season with head coach Steve Alford. Wolfpack All Access continues after this short break. Welcome back to Wolfpack All Access, presented by Champion Chevrolet. Let's head to Legacy Hall as Alex Margulies sits down with head coach Steve Alford.
Thanks, Shannon. Here at Legacy Hall, head coach Steve Alford. Quite the Saturday. The Indiana Hoosiers have a Heisman Trophy winner. Your basketball team pulls off an exciting win here in front of your home crowd and a nice finish to the non-conference play.
Yeah, I'm real excited for our guys. You know, we're out 2 starters. That's not easy. And we've won games while they've been out. And now we got to start league play, which it only gets harder. But we're getting a lot of guys some really good minutes. And I think growing, you know, we had some things, took some steps back a little bit with board play and some of those things, and they're not excuses, Alex, but it's hard when you got guys out, guys trying to step up, other guys that are starters trying to maybe do too much, and you're dealing with finals, trying to get through all that. But there's a lot on these guys' plates, and to go 8-3 and finish the way we finished with San Francisco, UC, San Diego, and then go on the road and beat Washington State and come back and get this team that after their game at Boise, we knew we were going to get their best shot, and they were very physical. I thought they were well prepared, and they did a really good job against us in a lot of ways, and our guys just couldn't pull away, but we made a lot of big plays down the stretch and got the win.
I was talking to Jared Lucas. He came on our station last week, and he was talking about Peyton when he first saw him coming into summer camp and going, he kind of looked at you and went, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, this kid's a freshman. I mean, how advanced is he just at that age of being able to kind of take the trust of the team to play the way he has?
I think all 3 of those guys came in and put in the work. Ethan doesn't look like a freshman. Peyton doesn't look like a freshman. And Miles, he's not one of those big physical guys, but he's the fastest, quickest guy on our team and can really get into you defensively. And he creates a lot of havoc, and he brings energy. And that's what you want off the bench. And I think all 3 of those freshmen they're doing a lot of good things for us just through 11 games.
Yeah, is that encouraging for you as a head coach, seeing your team, okay, like you want to find a team that's gelling, a team that is fighting for one another, a team with that next man up attitude, you know, that is kind of selfless. I imagine you obviously have had a lot of championship teams that you've coached. Are those some of the things that you look for and go, okay, these are some things that we've got with this team?
Well, and you learn, and sometimes it varies. It goes game to game sometimes, but like in tonight's game, every time we went to the bench, we moved the needle forward. And for whatever reason, the starters kind of brought that needle back. It's just one of those odd games, I think. It's not that the starters were just awful. It just they weren't as productive as what the bench was. And so then when you look at who's on the floor at the end of the game, you got 2 freshmen in the game at the end of the game. And so as a coach, you can learn to trust those guys that you don't have to start to be the ones that are going to be on the floor at the end of the game. We had TR, we had Miles, we had Peyton, all 3 coming off the bench, but they're on the floor late in the game. So that's what you want as coach. The more guys across the entire roster you can trust, then that's going to be big in games where somebody's not playing well. You can go to the bench and they can still rise what we're doing.
Boise State coming in to Lawler next Saturday. Have you had a chance to see much of them at all so far this year? What have you seen from the Broncos?
Yeah, big, physical, playing well. Obviously got off to a tough start, which several teams have done across the country, and they've already won at Butler. So they won at Butler. They beat Duquesne 22, 24 points, and Duquesne was really never in that game. You know, they're playing very well. They got St. Mary's coming up, and then we start Saturday. We lost to Boise in a tough game last year and never recovered from that. So we're going to remind that of our guys. And so we know we're going to have to play really well. It's a big physical team that sometimes plays more forwards than guards. So they're a little different that way. Good transfers, good guys that are coming back. So one of those perennial teams that, you know, if you're going to compete at the top, we want to do everything we can to start the season on the right note. So you go from playing 2 a week for about 5-6 weeks of the season, and now boom, we're playing 1 game a week, take a break, come back, play another 1 game a week against Colorado State. So it's a little bit different schedule now when you get towards the break season.
Coming up next on Wolfpack All Access, we introduce you to one of these sprinters on Nevada's track and field team, whose name is decorated in the silver and blue record books. Welcome back to Wolfpack All Access, presented by Champion Chevrolet. I'm Shannon Kelly. Wolfpack runner Annalise Kalma has already cemented her name in Nevada's record books on multiple occasions. Now, the senior is looking to break a long-standing record in her home country. Our Zach Larson shares her story.
From growing up on a dairy farm in New Zealand to sprinting for the Nevada Wolfpack in Reno, Annalise Kalma left home for opportunity and to make a name for herself on the track.
In New Zealand, I feel like it is not as popular at all. It's very different. I decided to come over to America mostly because I wanted to expand my career and get better and have more competition.
That opportunity at Nevada nearly never happened. The combination of a global pandemic and Kalma suffering a major injury as a high school senior almost caused her to slip through the cracks until Wolfpack coach Chantel Twiggs stepped in.
It was similar to one of my other 400-meter runners, Emily Costello, that I had on the team. So I wasn't thrown off by it because I was like, okay, I've worked with this. I think I can work with her through this.
Kalma was thrust into the national spotlight as a freshman, making Wolfpack history in May 2023. Nevada's 4x400 meter relay team, made up of Helen Senegal, Emily Costello, Caroline Ross, and Kalma, qualified for the NCAA championships, finishing 18th in the nation to become All-American honorable mentions.
It was a really cool experience for my first year. It definitely kind of just expanded what I knew all of a sudden and kind of set me up for the next couple years, knowing what was like capable from the team.
I mean, I still get goosebumps when I think about it. It was an amazing time.
Years later, Kalma continues to make history. Last April, she posted Nevada's fastest 400-meter outdoor time, and earlier this month, breaking the Wolfpack's indoor 400 mark by a half a second with a time of 52:73.
When I was a freshman, I remember sitting in Twiggs' office and she was like, I think that we can break this record with the relay team, and I think you could break the school record and do all these things. And I remember sitting there and being like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Like it was pretty like big dreams. So now that, you know, she was right and all those things have happened, it's just like really special, I feel.
Kalma's next goal, become the fastest woman in New Zealand history in the outdoor 400, a record that stood since 1980. To do that, she must shave 1.11 seconds off her personal best.
We know the numbers. We've talked about it. I'm sure she can tell you about the New Zealand national record. It's a long-standing record, and I think that she can crush that.
I can't even explain how amazing that would be. Yeah, I feel like it's been a dream for a while. It would just be so cool to say that I could do that.
For Wolfpack All Access, I'm Zach Larson.
Kalma earned Mountain West Track and Field Athlete of the Week honors following her record-setting time in the 400-meter race at the Silver State Invitational last weekend. Freshman Milena Galvin was named the Mountain West Freshman of the Week following her time in the 400-meter race, which ranks the fastest for a freshman in indoor track in the NCAA Division I ranks so far this season. The squad is hosting its next meet on January 9th and 10th when the Silver and Blue Invitational rolls through the Reno Sparks Convention Center's state-of-the-art indoor track. Before we go to break, here's Chris Murray with a look at this week in Wolfpack history, presented by Bradley Drendel and Janae.
A year after the Nevada football team lost an overtime heartbreaker in the 1995 Las Vegas Bowl, the Wolfpack returned to the same stadium with unfinished business. Playing in the Las Vegas Bowl for the second straight year, Nevada beat Ball State 18-15 on December 19, 1996, to record its first bowl win in 49 seasons. Damon Wilkins caught a pair of touchdowns, and Damon Shea booted 2 field goals to account for all of Nevada's scoring. But it was the Wolfpack defense that was dominant, holding Ball State to 218 yards on 67 plays. The game's MVP was linebacker Mike Crawford, who had 14 tackles, an interception, and a forced fumble. Crawford remains one of just 3 defensive players to win MVP honors in 32 Las Vegas Bowls, as Nevada recorded its second of 7 bowl wins in program history.
Hi, I'm University of Nevada President Brian Sandoval, and I am here to answer 5 questions. Frank Hawkins, loved watching Frank Hawkins and still remember Day of the Hawk on his last day, but obviously at one point was one of the leading rushers in the history of the NCAA. Favorite hobby is either hiking or reading. I love to read. I'm a prolific reader, and I love hiking and getting into the Sierra Nevada foothills. Basketball. So proud member of the varsity basketball team at Bishop Manogue High School. Was a decent shooter, played tough defense. Probably a tie, Paul McCartney or Fleetwood Mac. Always been a Paul McCartney Beatles fan, and as well as a Fleetwood Mac fan. The best thing about being the University of Nevada president is being an alum, class of '86. Just really proud of our students, faculty, and staff, and love our campus and love our community.
Welcome back to Wolfpack All Access, presented by Champion Chevrolet. As we mentioned earlier in our show, Jake McKinley stepped down in a surprising move after 3 seasons at the helm to take a job with the Seattle Mariners. Nevada Athletic Director Stephanie Remp elevated Jordan Getzelman from McKinley's top assistant to lead the Silver and Blue baseball program. Chris Murray sat down with the new skipper, and here's part of that conversation.
I'm here with Jordan Getzelman, the new head coach of the Nevada baseball team. I'm Chris Murray. So Jake becomes the head coach at Nevada 3 years ago. You're one of his first hires. I guess just take us through the process of building this program up, because I know that first year was difficult, last in the Mountain West, and you flash forward to last year, first in the Mountain West. You guys won a regular season championship. You know how this thing was built, and that prepares you for this opportunity. I guess what has gone into where Nevada is now?
Yeah, everything has been super intentional, and I think, you know, you spoke to the speed bumps that we went through that first year. It was really hard for all of us as coaches. It can really make you question and doubt what you're doing. But the credit I'll give Jake is he had a vision for this place to be special from the day he got here, and it's why I wanted to be here. You know, that first day he becomes the head coach, and we're starting to talk to players and, you know, build a roster. He looks at the roster, and there's 12 guys on it. And so that was the start of the difficulties, is putting together a roster of connected, talented players to be able to build this thing. And so, you know, we did put together a roster, but to speak to the build of it, I think Jake's just been so consistent in the vision and the culture of this place, and leaning into what Reno is about, and trying to be the best at providing a great player experience and provide really high-level player development. And we've stuck to that, and it's obviously gotten us to where we are now.
Jake gets a call out of the blue, and eventually that does pave the way to go to the Mariners. I know that wasn't expected, but now you get this opportunity to replace him. It was your 31st birthday. That was the day you were told you were going to be Nevada's head coach. Just take us through that moment and knowing that all the hard work you put in is coming to fruition with an opportunity to lead a club. Yeah,
it was a whirlwind of emotions. Obviously, the sadness of losing Jake on a day-to-day basis, especially just being such a close personal friend with him. I think that was hard. But the excitement of leading this program and being able to step into this position was awesome. And, you know, there's a lot of emotions you go through. I've, you know, day 4 or day 5 on this now. And, you know, just the weight of knowing we can continue what we've been doing here and continue to build into this program and try and make it special, and to, you know, be partially responsible for that. I'm really excited.
You can see the rest of that conversation with Getzelman on NevadaSportsNet.com. Mark your calendars. The 41st annual Bobby Dolan Baseball Dinner is happening on Thursday, January 29th at the Reno Ballroom. This year's keynote speaker is former major leaguer, analyst, and author Eric Burns, who spent more than a decade in the major leagues. To get tickets to baseball's biggest fundraiser of the season, just head to NevadaWolfpack.com. We'll wrap up tonight's show with some news and notes from the Wolfpack Athletic Department right after this. Before we go on Wolfpack All Access tonight, the Nevada Athletic Department has a couple of notes we want to pass along. The weekly Coach Alford basketball show is off and running with the voice of the Wolfpack, John Ramey. The next show is happening on December 17th at Chickies and Pete's inside of the Grand Sierra Resort. It all starts at 6 o'clock in the evening. The Wolfpack's annual Teddy Bear Toss is happening at halftime during the Wolfpack women's basketball game against Colorado State on Wednesday and men's basketball game against Boise State on Saturday. All bears will be donated to local children's hospitals. Plus, Santa is stopping by Lawler Event Center on Wednesday during the women's basketball game. Stop by to get your free photos with Santa during the game. Tip-off for Nevada's Mountain West opener against Colorado State is at 6:30 in the evening. That'll do it for us tonight on Wolfpack All Access from inside our Champion Chevrolet Nevada Sportsnet studios. We hope you're enjoying the holiday season so far, and we'll see you next Sunday for our final show of 2025. Good night.
This has been an exclusive presentation from Learfield.